And once we establish the policies, the quality policies that the organization holds, because the quality policy is essentially it will represent what the client's requirement and the client's perspective of what the end product should be, or then the consultancy, then the designers and the contractor and the service provider, or the developer of the solution, they will understand, they will understand the policies, the requirement of the client. So the policy, the quality policy actually represents, ultimately it will be what the client will look for in the end product. The stakeholders want the desired excellence of the product. So it is important to understand that direction and that goal of the organization, that is carrying out. Depending on whether, it doesn't matter actually whether you are the client or whether you are the designers, the developer of the solutions, or whether you are the builders or the service provider or the manufacturers of the product. Essentially, because you understand the quality policies of the organization that you are working with or working in, you can actually more able to understand the quality requirement and the desired level of excellence that is coming out from there. So then with the right standard, we understand that this is have to be based on this sort of minimum standard. This is what the customer wants. You understand that gap, or you understand that combination. Then we are looking at now to deliver what the client wants. You see, so in terms of project, we would have to create what we call a quality management plan. And you see, once you understand the requirement, once you understand what the end product should be, then these are the delivery part, the delivery processes. So in the delivery processes, what we're looking at is to look at the activities, look at the scope of work, and how do we deliver this scope of work? How do we deliver every one of the activities, okay? How do we seek to implement those activities? You see, so we will create these documents, or maybe it's just a plan of what we call a quality management plan, or in construction, we will call it the PQP, Project Quality Plan. And these particular guidelines, it actually will look into the procedures, the processes, and the resources that is required, the requirement that is from the resources that you need in order to, put together the components of the projects that is meeting the requirement and the desired level of excellence. And who are responsible? Okay, basically it is a document that set out the practices, the procedures, the activities that is related to that product and the resources that is related to the product. And how do we deliver them? Okay, how do we deliver them? The method that we use to deliver them, the requirement that we need to place on the resources, and carrying out the activities in order to deliver the relevant product, service, or the contract or the project, you see. And that is the PQP or the QMP. They are actually just a lot of processes, a lot of procedures. It will list down the whole outlook of how you will carry out different activities, ranging from the objective of the activity, the quality desired level of excellence for that particular activity, and then what are the processes, what are the steps that need to do, the procedures, the work method that needs to be done, and then the skills of the people that is needed, and the desired quality material that are needed, the machineries that are needed to deliver this product. You see, it's like when we want to do something, it is combination of different resources, and each resources must have their own level of excellency. You cannot say I want uh, uh, um, I want a shirt that is really, really good in quality, but then you use very rough material. You see, so it will contribute to the end product. Your resources will contribute to the end product. So this particular document, it will list down all these different aspects. So this is really project quality management already. So with your work breakdown, you are listing down, these are the activities, and in each activities, what are the resources, and then you have to, in quality plan, you need to specify on the resources and what is needed from the resources, and then you need to talk about what are the flow of activities, what are the flow of practices, or flow of procedures, or flow of works that needs to be carried out. It's like, if I need to take these particular resources and drill a hole in it, how do I drill on it, And is there any requirement on the machines? Is there any requirement on the sizes of the hole? And then how is this person doing the job going to carry it out? The steps, the processes. You are trying to come up with maybe a flow chart would be a very good way of designing this particular. I always recommend flow chart. A flow chart goes from this activity, earthwork, for example. What are the objectives, what are the quality objectives, and then what are the processes, what are the procedures, what are the resources required, and then if it doesn't meet, what are the testing requirements required. If it doesn't meet, then you go to which stage and you rectify it, and then it flows from there. So basically, your PQP, your quality QMP will be consisting of things like this, okay? And it will be it is like an umbrella of all your quality processes within the umbrella, and it's under that umbrella of that particular product, and then this is the umbrella of, you imagine the umbrella is like the overall coverage on the quality, the policies, the standards. Then the things that you need to do underneath the umbrella in order to achieve this particular umbrella, you see, and to fulfill this particular product requirement. So every quality plan is actually very project specific. So we really will not be able to come up with standard documents. You fill in the blanks kind of thing. It will not be like that. It will have to be very specifically project design basis. But of course, construction, we will probably be able to repeat most of the parts for other projects as well. For manufacturing, if you have this particular QMP, you will probably be able to delete some part, add in some parts, and then modify some parts. So it's always the first time that will be the hardest. Actually, it will always be the hardest. So that after you get the first draft out, then in the future, the next one you will make into improvement. And then all this quality plan will usually translate it into a quality manual. So for your staff to read, or your supervisor to carry out the checking, for your engineers to be watching out to be always in touch with the project quality objectives, and then or the activities objective, the quality objectives, and then it's like a manual that it will put down all the authority statements, the elements, the processes, the procedures. It's all there in a file in a way. And in this file, basically, you will also let your site people be able to understand and take out. It's like if you go on leave, for example, as a project manager, at least your engineers can read the particular manual, and then they can actually proceed to carry out the checking or the monitoring, or they understand that this is not meeting the requirement, this is the limits, these are the cut-off points for this particular work. We cannot make it less than 10 mm, plus or minus 0.1, so they know the direction. So manual is a very important document. It is basically your quality plan. And your quality plan, I think I'll stop here and then I'll move on to the other 10 minutes.